Hi, today I'm going to be making a take on Brewshop's Blackberry Red Ale. I spotted some reduced goodies in Tesco, well these in particular, blueberry, and as the recipe says you can replace the blackberries with blueberries. I thought, why not? And I'm going to try it with a mix with blackcurrants. The last batch I did was an everyday IPA. So I've still got loads of hops from that. So instead of the East Kent Goldings, I'm just going to be using my existing hops, Columbus and Cascade, to see what goes on there. I'm using Marris Otter as described. The Caramel 60, I've just picked up some crystal malt from my homebrew store, so hopefully that'll be alright. Aromatic malt, I've got a bit of biscuit malt I'm going to throw in there. Basically, it's my own recipe, if in all be honest, if all things being true. I'm going to use the obviously the method, which is similar for most beers, with minor differences in when you add sort of hops and the quantity of hops used, etc. And also for this particular beer, I'm going to be making a mixture first with the blueberries and blackcurrants. Alright, so I'm going to fire up the pan and let's get this thing started. So the first thing I ask you to do is mash up the berries and sugar with a fork over a low heat. Because I'm using fresh blackcurrants, they've all got these stalks on, which makes them a bit of a struggle to pick off. So my tip is, if you can get away with using already pre-stalked blackcurrants, then it's going to be beneficial to you, because it's taken me quite a while. Whether there's probably a difference in quality, I don't know. I'd have to try it with frozen, and once I do, I'll let you guys know. But on the outset, that's what I'd advise. So I'm going to finish doing these last few, and then get the heat on and get my blueberries in there and give it a good mash. So now I've got it on a low heat, and I'm giving these a good mash it in until it forms a syrup. It says in the recipe around 5 minutes, so we'll see how we get on with that. Now I better sign off so I can concentrate on my work. So after stirring nearly constantly and mashing for nearly 10 minutes or so, it's starting to break down and turn into the syrup, which is what I'm looking for. So yeah, it's getting there. Well, I've been stirring that for about quarter of an hour now, 20 minutes on a low heat. It says 5 minutes in the book, but no chance. I mean, even now, it's not a completely solid syrup, if you will, but it's the best I'm going to do for now. So I've heated up 2.36 gallons of water. Well, I'm heating up now. I'm going to do that to the strike point, then I'm going to add my grains, which I'm going to weigh out now. Well, I've got my grain bill sorted out now, and it's mashing away in my tin, in my pan here. So what we've got under the hood, we've got 657 grams of Marris Otter. We've got, let's see, 158 grams of crystal malt, and we've also got 59 grams of biscuit malt. So it is different to the original Brewshop recipes, but it's all about experimentation, and you could almost argue that this is a homage to that recipe. But you've got to try things out, haven't you, sometimes, and hopefully this is a good beer and a good example, and a tasty one at that, but time will tell. So whilst I'm mashing, I thought I'd better weigh out my hops ready for the boil. So the recipe calls for like Kentish and Cascade hops, but I've got some hops left over. I've got Cascade and Columbus from my IPA, so I thought, sod it, why not use them? I'm going to switch things around though, and I'm going to use Columbus as the main hop in my recipe, and I'm going to have Cascade to start off the boil. And just switch things around and see how we get on. There's no science behind it. I know hops are a science and bittering levels and all that jazz. But I'm doing this for fun and just to see if I can get a decent beer. So fingers crossed. Like I said before, this is mashing away. Every 10 minutes you've got to check the temperature, and the range you want is between 62 and 66 degrees Celsius. And if it's falling below that, just get it on the flames, continuously stir, take it off the flames, and take the temperature in multiple points off the heat, and get a judgment off that. And just keep repeating that over an hour, and you'll be fine. And so for the final 10 minutes, just taking the temperature on here, and over in the corner over there, I'm heating up 1 gallon of water to 76 degrees. Now, as you can see on here, possibly, let's have a close up if we can. As you can see, it's in the range between 62 and 66, so that's perfect. So I'm going to pop the lid on for the final time. So it's the last 10 minutes now of the mash, and once that's finished, I'm going to heat it up to 76 degrees, continuously stirring on the hob, and then turn off the heat, and then pull off and set aside back on the counter here. So as I said before, my sparge water, that also needs to get heated up to 76 degrees centigrade. So I thought I'd start it off, and it also recommends it in the book in the last 10 minutes of the mash. After rinsing the grain bed once with the sparge water, which I'd heated up before, we now recirculate back through the grain bed once more, and as you can see in there, I don't know if it's picking up well on the camera, but the ale it's a lot clearer as the husks start filtering and doing their job, and hopefully giving it quite a nice clear beer before it goes into brewing, i.e. boiling. So just of the boil now. I've just got the 5 minutes before the end, one last addition of Columbus hops, and then when you turn off the gas, also known as flame out, I'm going to be adding my Cascade hops and also my raspberry syrup. Well, it's not raspberry syrup, it's blueberry and blackcurrant, sorry. So now it's all about cooling down. So I'm running the cold water and just stirring the other way, anti-clockwise. Try and get the temperature down to pitching rate for the yeast as quickly as possible. And I mean, for small batches like this, you don't need to have a wort chiller, because this will do in about a quarter of an hour, maybe less, depending. So yeah, all's well. Once it hits about 21 degrees, I'm going to pop it into the clean demijohn, which I star-sand earlier. Pitch the yeast, get the bung on, stick it in a box full of bubble wrap to keep it incubated, and in about a week we should be good to go, maybe 2 weeks. That's after I've taken a gravity reading, of course, see where we're at alcohol level wise, well, original gravity, and with the yeast I'm using we should get to about 0.08 on a good day, so hopefully we can achieve that. So using a funnel which I've sanitised, my sieve, I've poured the cooled down wort through the sieve, and it's collected all the stuff I didn't want, which is great. So now I'm going to check the level. I've got a bit of sellotape on there to tell me if it's a gallon. If it's a gallon, then great, I'll add my yeast, shake it up, put the bung on, job done. If it's not, I'll just top it up with a little bit of water and then do the yeast, bung, sweet, and then hopefully it's going to be a good beer. All right, thank you for tuning in. See you later. Goodbye.